Warning. Gory Storytime is a horror movie review show by a son and his dad who thought that letting his 5-year-old watch scary movies was acceptable. If you are offended by horror or talk about blood and gore by a child, or if you don't want horror movies from the 60s through today spoiled, then there is a remote stuck in your couch cushion next to potato chip crumbs. Use it. And of course, parental discretion is advised.
Why? You didn't use any.
Shut up and start the show.
Welcome to Gory Storytime. I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and his father, Craig, and
This is our 99th episode.
we're real close to episode 100. We've been off for a couple weeks, school getting back together and stuff, or getting back going.
Right.
But we're planning a couple of things for episode 100. We filmed one.
Big 100 episode.
Yeah.
And we're going to do something between now and then as well.
It'll be a surprise because
Right.
I am anti-it.
And I am pro getting paid.
Yeah, Colin promised him money, Colin here at the station. But we'll get into that next time he comes and
Does something that's not.
ruins the show.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, this week we're reviewing the
Rosemary's
classic
Baby.
horror movie, Rosemary's Baby, starring Mia Farrow. Basic premise: young couple moves to a New York apartment in the late 60s.
And live their life for a long time.
Anyway, don't listen to him. They have neighbors that slowly start seeming creepy and doesn't know what's going on. They're trying to have a baby. And as she gets pregnant, Mia Farrow's character, Rosemary, a.k.a. the titular character.
Right.
Titular. Anyway, that was dumb.
That was dumb.
It's like, wow, you used a dictionary word and followed it up with a Beavis and Butthead chuckle. I'm that diverse in my thought. Anyway, the point is, so Rosemary, yes, starts thinking something's either wrong with the pregnancy or the people around her
Or a little culty.
about the pregnancy. Yes. That's the basic plot. I won't give away the end for the one person who likes horror movies who doesn't know how Rosemary's Baby ends. But anyway,
Right.
For now, let's play the trailer. And or we can vamp. It happens.
Ta-da!
And the trailer. Okay. Well,
Wasn't that trailer amazing? I hope it didn't spoil anything.
we're going to discuss also in this episode Jason's thoughts on, is it really a horror movie or is it just a slice of life / comedy with one horror element thrown in at the end?
Right.
And I personally think it's a horror movie because that's what everybody but you thinks it is. And your rebuttal would be,
I laughed at it all. Nothing was scary.
you've never laughed at a Freddy Krueger line?
Okay.
But
But there was scary stuff in those.
okay, you're a Christian.
Right.
You believe in the devil?
I believe in him. He exists.
So the idea of him spreading his seed on Earth and making like in The Omen, making a baby that can, cause great disasters on Earth.
Oh, did we see any of those in this?
Would that be scary?
The aftermath?
Would that be scary? It's the origin story for Damien, basically.
Okay, so The next one's
Okay,
scary.
so the origin story for Spider-Man, not a superhero movie?
No. That's not what it said. Okay, so Batman Begins. Is that a superhero movie? Is that a Batman movie, Dad?
It ends with him being Batman. It's just awful.
But
that doesn't change the fact that it is a superhero movie.
Enter the trailer.
Enter the trailer.
I think.
We lied.
I got waved to.
And vamping.
Ran for...
Don't mind us. We've had long arguments about what is or isn't a kind of movie.
Well, and this is... I get why some people would say this is a horror movie, because yes,
it's
the idea...
creepy and ends with hell on earth beginning.
Right. But
it's happy hell on earth.
Well, kind of. Right up until the devil baby's born, like, yes.
Oh, right up until the point of the movie, it's...
Trailer ready.
Trailer! What?
Chop chop!
Ah!
Hey, let's make love.
Paramount Pictures presents Mia Farrow in a William Castle production, Rosemary's Baby, co-starring John Cassavetes.
Oh.
All right. Well, welcome back to Jason and Craig's Fuster Cluck. I said it in a way that's arable.
I mean, we could have just circled the thing that says strong language.
Yeah, but it's on at like 7 something. So anyway, before we get into the behind the scenes stuff,
the meat and beef of the show.
Yes, we have some actual sponsors that you can actually buy things or do things or
whatever.
Find
those
online.
of you playing along, this is for you.
Yes, good thing it's not audio because they wouldn't hear this.
Right.
Anyway, so this week, Gory Story Time is brought to you by Baby's First Book of Horror ABCs. Now, horror fans can teach their kids the alphabet with all your favorite horror characters. With fully illustrated pictures, your child can learn their ABCs from A is to alien to Z's to zombie. Baby's First Book of Horror ABCs will have them checking under the bed and in the closet for years to come. That's Baby's First Book of Horror ABCs. Ask for it at your local bookstore or find it online at reallybadparenting.com.
Nobody should go to that website. They should rename themselves. Buy a different domain.
Because if it actually exists, who knows what's on there?
Oh,
I
my.
mean, it actually exists, and it's for the book.
Oh, my. And buy the brand new Beelzebuddy. Beelzebuddy is the only stuffed animal on the market that can actually accept your soul in trade for your greatest wish. Beelzebuddy is made from the finest materials and real goat hair. So tell Beelzebuddy what you want, and it could be yours today. Warning: once you've sold your soul to Beelzebuddy, there is no turning back. So trade wisely. Gory Storytime is not responsible for any eternal damnation that may occur.
All right. Anyway, let's give some behind-the-scenes info. Mia Farrow, who played Rosemary, actually ate raw liver for a scene, which would be no big deal, except she was a vegetarian at the time.
Really?
Yep.
Bet that changed her mind.
And in 1968, they didn't have, like, good-tasting vegetarian food. Like, I understand that a lot of the fake burgers and stuff...
They're not terrible
but,
now.
Yeah, but at the time...
Oh, no.
And soy bacon is always going to suck because it's not bacon.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead.
According to Mia Farrow, the scenes where Rosemary walks in front of traffic were spontaneous and genuine. Roman Polanski, right? Polanski is reported to have told her that nobody will hit a pregnant woman. The scene was successfully shot with Farrow walking into real traffic and Polanski following, operating the handheld camera since he was the only one willing to do it.
Ira Levin felt this film was the single most faithful adaptation of a novel ever to come out of Hollywood. William Castle speculated the reasons for this were it was the first time Roman Polanski had ever adapted another writer's work and was unaware he had the freedom to improvise on the book.
Oh, really?
So, we get into some more information about that.
Before the filming of the scene of Rosemary calling Donald Baumgart, the actor in the story who mysteriously was blind, Mia Farrow did not know who would be speaking the lines. It was that of Tony Curtis, and in the scene, Farrow shows slight confusion, unable to place the voice. This confusion was exactly the effect director Roman Polanski hoped to capture by having Curtis read the lines.
Directed by Roman Polanski, whose pregnant wife Sharon Tate was murdered in 1969 by the followers of Charles Manson, who titled their death spree Helter Skelter after the 1968 song by the Beatles. Here's a weird connection. One of whose members, John Lennon, would one day live, and in 1980 be murdered, in the Manhattan apartment building called the Dakota, where this movie had been filmed. Curiously enough, Lennon had written Dear Prudence, the song Dear Prudence, for Mia's sister Prudence Farrow after the pair had spent some time with the Beatles in India at Transcendental Meditation Seminar hosted by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi.
Huh.
So there's some weird connections.
Right. Mia Farrow does the vocals on the title sequence lullaby. Your turn again.
Yep. Rosemary says to Terry Gianafrano, who is played by Angela Durain, "I thought you were Victoria Vetri, the actress," to which Terry responds, "Everyone says that, but I don't see the resemblance. Victoria Vetri is Angela Durain's real name."
Okay, that's good.
So it was an inside joke.
That's good.
Don't forget this one goes on both sides.
According to John Parker's recent biography of Jack Nicholson, Robert Evans suggested Nicholson to Roman Polanski, but after their meeting, the director stated that for all his talent, his slightly sinister appearance ruled him out. The two would work together a few years later on Chinatown.
Tanis Root does not exist. Ira Levin made it up for his novel.
Mia Farrow said in a recent interview that the actor playing the devil, Clay Tanner, was completely naked during the rape scene. dressed up in demonic makeup with vertical contact lenses. She said Tanner spent hours grinding on top of her as they were shooting the rape scene. After they were done, he got up, shook me his hand in a very cordial and businessman type of way, and said, "Miss Farrow, it was a pleasure working with you." Mia shook his hand back and said, "Thank you. He was a very lovely man," she said.
That was their only interaction. Was the fake
Rape
assault.
scene, right.
Yes.
Yikes.
Many scenes were shot in one continuous, unbroken take or with minimal cuts, such as the opening scene where Rosemary and Guy first tour their apartment, only 2 cuts. The laundry room scene with only 1 cut. The let's have a baby scene with none. The New Year's Eve party. Rosemary and Guy's apartment after the party. Rosemary's getting the unfortunate call about Hutch. The final scene at Dr. Saperstein's office where she tells him about Adrian Mercado. And Rosemary's phone call with Baumgard and the famous phone booth scene. Those were all either 1 or 2 cuts or 0 cuts, just long takes.
This film, along with Repulsion and The Tenant, forms a loose trilogy by Roman Polanski about the horrors of apartment city dwelling.
Roman Polanski said working with John Cassavetes was not his best experience. John was not very comfortable with the role. According to Mia Farrow, Cassavetes resented Polanski's highly structured method of shooting scenes, saying he preferred to improvise and a more freewheeling approach. Eventually, tensions grew between the two because of their conflicting approaches to film. In an interview featured on the Criterion Collection, Polanski said that Cassavetes was a pain in the ass.
This was Roman Polanski's very first adaptation, and it was very faithful to the novel. Pieces of dialogue, color schemes, and clothes are taken verbatim.
I mean, if he didn't think he could change the, book for his version, then obviously, I mean, he literally, well, there's another thing that he ends up doing. I won't ruin it. Where are we? Ira Levin said in 1991 Chicago Tribune interview to promote his book Silver that he was almost always disappointed when Hollywood adapts one of his books to film. The exception was Rosemary's Baby. That's the only movie, he said, that he could watch without wincing.
I get it.
Well, he wrote the book, and if it's that faithful, that makes sense.
Right. The original cut ran over 4 hours. Roman Polanski couldn't decide what to cut, so he let editor Sam Osteen decide, and Sam would later direct the sequel, Look What's Happened to Rosemary's Baby, in 1976.
William Castle acquired the movie rights to the novel. Robert Evans and Paramount agreed to greenlight the project if Castle did not direct. This was due to his reputation as a director of low-budget horror films. He was, however, allowed to make a cameo appearance.
There's a heatedly disputed rumor that Sharon Tate appears unbilled at the party Rosemary gives for her young friends.
Which would be the one that was murdered like a year after this. That was Roman's wife. Rosemary is estranged from her parents because they don't like that she, a Catholic girl, married Guy, who is a mixed Jewish Protestant religious background, which explains why Rosemary never calls her parents, even though she's going through these horrific events. So I guess they didn't reference that in the movie. That's from the book.
Roman Polanski was so faithful to the novel that he asked Ira Levin the date of the issue of The New Yorker in which Guy Woodhouse sees a shirt he wants. Levin confessed that he had made up the detail.
I mean, he wanted the actual issue. Like, that's how true to it he wanted to be. William Castle said that he got hate mail from people who were angry at him for bringing the devil back into the world.
Okay.
Like, they legit thought he did
that. Did that? What?
Yeah.
Okay, then. At the end of the book, Rosemary starts talking to the baby, and the coven gathers around her, shouting, "Hail Rosemary." Wow, that's messed up.
I mean, they did start chanting in this one, but...
Right.
All right. What was your favorite scene of Rosemary's Baby? Mr. I don't think the classic horror movie was horror.
It wasn't.
Okay, what was your favorite scene?
I'd probably say when she finally stopped drinking the drink that kept getting given to her.
Okay.
I liked that because she was finally, like, doing something for herself. Because, like, the whole movie was, like...
Got a little more clear-headed.
Right, because the whole movie was basically her just basically doing whatever these people would tell her, hanging out with the people her husband wanted to, and when she stopped drinking the drink, she finally stopped going and hanging out with his old people friends, and then she started to put things together, and I liked that.
Well, no, she stopped drinking because she was starting to put things together.
Right,
even
but
in
she put things... Right.
I would say my favorite part was probably, boy, I really like this movie, so it's hard to like pick just one thing. But I guess I would say overall, I'll just go with an overall feeling from it of the idea, of the devil on Earth, similar to The Exorcist or Damien, from The Omen. Like that idea spiritually is pretty creepy.
Okay. My least favorite scene, which isn't a scene, is the fact that it took so long to get to anything remotely creepy.
Because if it doesn't start with a bunch of slashing, it's not a horror movie. Go ahead.
Not what I said.
That's how I'm interpreting your words.
So don't listen to what he says.
I don't like a slow burn that builds up tension.
No, because at least Alien was super suspenseful, and guess what? It actually had something scary in it. Huh.
This had something scary. My son sitting next to me whining the whole time.
It wasn't whining. It wasn't whining. It wasn't scary. My least favorite was all of the not scary part, which was everything leading up to
You said you liked
the last 10 seconds. I don't know. I did like it. I would watch it again, not looking at it as a horror movie.
Okay, you're like the guy that doesn't think so. So you're wrong.
When
it's everyone but
I don't
you.
care. I do not care.
Anyway, my least favorite part is my whine-ass son. No.
Wow.
Actually, my least favorite part was probably just the scenes of rape and nudity of Mia Farrow, because I don't know, like, it can be used effectively in movies and stuff, but it's just a thing that bothers me on such a visceral level.
Even if it fits.
I mean,
and that was your least favorite for a different one too, like
Last House on the Left.
Yeah,
I think, probably.
the remake, right?
Yeah, because I mean, it still is just a topic that bothers me on a visceral level. So
I get that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it?
I mean, as a movie,
No,
I would rate
it on
a 7. I'd
7?
give it a 7.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because I have more goddamn respect.
Wow.
Anyway, we have to give the Rotten Tomatoes scores.
Yeah, the critics gave it 99
out of 100, obviously.
Right.
And the audience has it at 87 because some of them are wrong too.
Yeah, the ones who watched it and said, "Oh, this is
yours
real
would
scary."
actually make it go higher because anything over 50% they consider a positive, and that's how they average out the Rotten Tomato score. I'm just saying. And 7 out of 10 is a positive score. It's just
I'm not saying
as
it's
high as
bad.
you
I'm
like it.
just
So let's give out all the particulars.
watch our show Thursdays at 7 and Saturdays at 9.
I don't remember, and we don't have the thing here. We've been off for a couple weeks, and
Usually there's this thing that pops down.
it
over
plays
there.
throughout the week. I don't remember. We'll have to get that for.
If you're
episode
watching it
100.
now,
then this is one
this
of those
is when
times.
it comes on.
And I think I don't remember. I have to. Anyway.
Right.
Also, I don't know.
Oh, there it is. Thursdays at
Oh, look at
8:30 and Fridays at 7.
Yes. Okay. There we go. We also have an email, which is gorystorytime@yahoo.com. Send us questions, complaints. If you have anything to say about the trailer not working, hey, things happen. Get over it. It eventually worked. We vamped. It's fine.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those, what are you going to do? Things happen.
Right. We have our Facebook page, Gory
Yep.
Storytime on Facebook. Go and
Yep.
like our page.
Or you could also Fact TV on Facebook.
But I'm pretty sure we're going live, so if you're watching this, you probably already
or
have.
if you're watching it on TV.
Right.
So for those people.
For those people.
Also, we're both on Twitter. I'm at Craig Jakes, all one word, all lowercase.
And I'm at Jason T. Jakes, capital J, capital T, capital J.
We don't really tweet about the show, but whatever.
I will offend you.
Most likely, yes, there'll be some offense taken. And I guess that's it for this week.
So until next time, I'm your host, Jason.
I'm his co-host and father, Craig.
And sweet dreams.